In this video we're going to look at event logging with Node-RED. Now if you go to the official site, you can see in the help files in the documents, you can see a section on logging, and it describes in this document how to create a custom logger. Now the default logger is a console logger, and it logs everything to the console. And if you look at the console, this is what you'll see, something like this on the console. That's a typical Node-RED console. It logs usually it logs debug information on there. So you use the console for debugging. Now what we're going to do is we're not going to use it for debugging. We're not going to create a debug log. We're going to create an info log. We're going to log various events. So take for example, you've got a flow that fills a water tank. You want to actually know when it's full, so you log an event saying it's full. When you want to know when it's half full, you log an event when it's half full. You want to know when it's actually empty, so you log an event when it's empty. You may have a pump that's running, that's actually pumping the water from the tank, so you have an event when the pump's running, an event when the pump stopped running, etc. Things like that. So we're not talking about debugging, we're talking about information about logging important events, what you consider important. And we're going to do that using the node.log function in a function node. So in various function nodes in the flow, we're going to insert the node.log, just like you would if you were using it for debugging, and we're going to log that information. And what we're going to do is we're going to log that information to a file on the local system, and we're also going to publish it via mqtt, so you can actually implement central logging. So that's what I'm going to take you through here. Now if you go back to the documentation, you can see they do describe how to create a custom logger. And when I first looked at this, I didn't quite understand it, and I looked at it a few years ago, and I returned to it a few weeks ago when I needed to do some logging, and I actually made sense of it this time. So that's why I'm putting together this video, and why I've got an article on the site to describe it in a bit more detail for those of you who are not JavaScript experts, and I'm not a JavaScript expert. So this is the example they give. Now this is the example we're going to be going through in the video, and you can see it here in Notepad+. What we're doing is that this is a section out of the settings file. Now I haven't obviously included the entire settings file because it's quite large. We're looking at the logging section, and we're looking at the top bit here is the console, which is the default, and underneath we've got the custom logger, which I've called mqtt log, which is here. Now to make this a bit more readable or viewable, I've actually copied this and I've highlighted certain sections of it, so we're going to go through it through those sections. But before we do that, just return back to here. You can see the custom logger has two sections here. It has a section up here, which is where it actually sets what kind of logging level it's using, and then it has a handler function here, and this says this is called when it's initialized, and then we return a function, a logging function, and you pass in the message object into this function, and you will see that here. And this return function here, all it's going to do is log the timestamp and the event. Now let's go to the one we're going to be using in the video. So this is what it looks like. Now I've highlighted certain sections. Now the yellow highlight here is the console section, which is the default, so I haven't changed this at all. And then we go down into the custom logger, which I've called mqtt log, but in this one we're actually going to be logging data to mqtt. We're going to be publishing it. We're also going to be writing it to the file system. So we set the level, which I've set to info, and then we've got the handler function, and here we actually need to bring in the mqtt module and also the file system module. And here we got it here, require file system, require mqtt, and because this is called once when we actually do it, we're going to call the connect method of the MQTT. So we're going to connect to the broker. So you'd need to obviously change this one here to connect. Now, credit to where credit's due. I got this information from, I think it was the Node-RED forums. There was an example there on MQTT Logger. There wasn't an example on the file system logger, but there was a similar example. I can't remember what it was. So I basically took that information and I obviously modified it for my needs. So somewhere on the forums you'll find this information here. So all we're going to do is create a connection to a broker, and then we're going to publish it. So that sets up the broker, the MQTT side. That brings in the file system module, so we can actually write to the file. And then in our return function, we start off at the top, and now you see it's be passing in the message. Now there's a couple of things here. Now I didn't want to publish the message, or I didn't want to publish the entire message. Now if you go to the a typical Node-RED console, you'll see the message object when you actually send information to it, or when the system sends information to it. It contains timestamps, and it contains a function node it originated it. It contains message IDs and things. I wasn't interested in all that information. I wanted only the information I wanted, and so I'm going to customize this. So instead of actually taking the entire message, I'm actually going to take part of the message. So I'm taking message.message, and I'll show you what the message looks like in a second. Now, in addition, I don't want to log everything. So if I don't, sorry, in addition, I don't want to log everything. So as part of my message, and I'll show you the message format I'm using here, I've got a status attribute. So I'm going to look for any message object that's got a status attribute, and only the ones that I'm generating should have a status attribute. So if it's got a status attribute, I want it, and I'm going to process it, and I'm going to publish it. And there you can, there's the topic, and there's the message. Okay, just a quick thing. When I left this in because I wanted to show what it looks like if you actually just send the message. So I'm actually sending the entire message when I publish it. When I log it, you can see to a file, I'm actually only using a subset of it, which is the message. So this bit I'm sending to the file. The entire message object I am actually sending when I publish it using MQTT. But in either case, I'm only publishing it, I'm only writing it if there's a status attribute in it. So I'm picking up the attribute here. Now, obviously, you don't need to do this. You could write everything to the file. You could publish everything to MQTT. I'm not going to go through the syntax of the file. This is a synchronous write. You can find this if you look up the file system module, the FS module, and it tells you about it and tells you how to do it. And that's where I got it from. As I say, I'm not a JavaScript expert. So the only thing you might need to change is where you're logging it to. I'm logging it to a test log in the logs folder. So this is a logs folder underneath the .node-red directory. And there's a couple of console messages that you might want to get rid of as well here. And that's it. The rest is all closing off the various opening brackets at the bottom here. So let's see what the event log looks like when we actually log it. And here I should have an example. Here you can see here I've got a status, which is a property change. Status up here is a publish. Now, obviously, you set the status. You actually have to decide on what you're going to call these status messages. Then we have the message itself, and then we have the property, and in the case I'm logging the old value, new value, etc. This is for a home automation system, and there should be a timestamp here. Or is it missing on this one? It's missing on this one. I obviously have to go and edit that flow to sort that out. And this is what it looks like on MQTT. And you can see here if I go to the top, you can see there it's got a status. So this is the message. This is the bit I'm actually sending to the file, and this is the rest of the message. And you see that's the name of the function that's generating. It's got a timestamp and it's got a path. It's got a few other things that I'm not logging to a file. Okay, just to finish off, I just want to show you the function node that uses the logger. You can see it here. I'm creating a event object here, and there's a status property, and you can see the values I'm putting in there, and another one there because it was a bit too long, and then we just log it using the node.log. Normally you see node.log message, but node.log event, it's just when you log it, you log an object. So I'm just logging this object there, and again that's passed on and appears in that function node as the message object. That's it. That's all you have to do to actually use it. Okay, so I hope that made sense, made using the custom logger easier for you. This is the end of the video, so if you like the video, click on the like button. If you've got comments or got questions, then use the comment form. And if you'd like to get notified of new videos, then subscribe. You can always subscribe to the channel. So until next time, goodbye.